Kneel and scrub my shoes.
Now!
Now. Hot latte dripped down his Italian loafer. The carpet drank it black.
It's your fault! Clean it up, you stinky old rat!
Sir, I just stepped onto this floor.
I don't care where you came from. You dirtied my shoes. Scrub them.
She didn't move.
Are you deaf or slow-witted?
But I haven't done anything.
His face flushed. A cold smirk twisted his lips.
You just talked back to me?
She held her head high. For a moment, she looked ready to quit. He stepped close enough to smell his cologne.
Scrub my shoes or your contract ends at noon. Try it, old rat!
The elderly black woman sighed, knelt on both knees, lifted his shoe. In 15 minutes, his career would vanish like that stain on his shoe. To understand how a 64-year-old black woman ended up on her knees in front of Brett Caldwell, you need to know one thing about her. She owns the building. Not metaphorically, not poetically. She owns it. The land, the steel, the 64 floors of glass on Wacker Drive, the brass plaque by the elevator, the carpet she was kneeling on. All of it. Her name is on the deed. Her name is Tara Josephine Hampton. She is the founder and chief executive officer of Hampton Verity Global Holdings. The firm manages $40 billion. She built it from the ground up over the last 43 years. She started in 1982 with $12,000 from a small business loan. She had a janitorial contract at a Chicago hospital and a notebook full of names. Most of those names were people who said no. A few said yes. She paid them back with interest by the second year. She owns the company today outright. No outside shareholders. No board majority. Just Tara, the founder, and the people she trusts. So why is she dressed like a contractor and scrubbing a man's shoe? Twice a year, she vanishes from the C-suite for a week. Officially, she's in off-site strategy. Unofficially, she puts on a Navy maintenance polo and ties her gray hair back. She swaps her platinum earrings for plain studs. Then she walks her building from the sub-basement to the penthouse as a cleaning contractor. She calls these her ghost walks. Her chief of staff calls them the most honest audit money can't buy. This is her 6th in 10 years. She watches who holds the elevator, who says good morning, who tips the night janitors at Christmas, who walks past the security desk like the man behind it is a piece of furniture. She watches how senior people treat the junior people, the interns, the receptionists, the building staff. The badge on her chest opens any door in the tower. The polo makes her invisible to the only people who would ever care. Because here is the part Brett Caldwell never bothered to learn. Tara is a famously private founder. Her official portrait hangs in the lobby downstairs. It shows her in pearls, a tailored charcoal suit, her hair done. Junior staff have only ever seen that portrait. Most of them have never met her in person. The 3 executives who would recognize her on site are the 3 insiders she briefed before this walk began. The rest of the building only knows the woman on the wall. To everyone else on the 51st floor, including the man who told her to kneel, she is a stranger in a polo with a mop. 7:14 in the morning, 2 days into the walk. The executive lounge is filling up. Glass walls, eucalyptus on every table, espresso machines worth more than most cars. Lake Michigan washes pale gold through the windows. The surface of the water moves like hammered silver. The smell of fresh coffee mixes with something faintly floral from the lobby diffuser. A small dark patch sits on the cream carpet near the espresso bar. Someone spilled the night before. The night cleaning crew missed it. Tara noted it in her leather notebook at 7:09 with 3 small words. Check, shift, handoff. She was wheeling her cart along the wall. She watched who waved at the receptionist and who didn't. Then the elevator chimed, and Brett Caldwell walked in. Brett is 38, white, and the senior vice president of client services. He is on the short list for the next open C-suite seat. He is wearing the Italian loafers his wife gave him for his promotion. He is wearing the watch he bought himself when the board first whispered Chief Operating Officer. He carries the air of a man who believes mornings are something other people perform for him. He had just come from a 6:45 peer review. For the third quarter running, he had been told that 2 HR complaints had been filed against him. He had shrugged. People not built for the pace. He saw the stain on the carpet. He saw the older black woman in the maintenance polo. In one unconscious second, he decided what kind of morning this was going to be. The brass plaque by the elevator catches the morning light. The line engraved beneath the company name reads, "We work for every floor." He has never read it. The cloth in her hand moves in slow circles. Italian leather darkens, then shines. Her knees press into cream wool carpet that costs $400 a square yard. The smell of latte mixes with leather conditioner. "Get the heel!" Brett's voice comes from above her. "There's a spot on the heel. You missed it." She moves the cloth to the heel, works it in. "Now buff. I want to see my face in that toe." She buffs. He stares down at the part in her gray hair. Something small and wrong flickers behind his eyes. He likes this. He likes it more than he expected to. He shifts his weight onto his other foot and lets his loafer rest on her palm like a man putting his foot on a bench. "The other one too. Don't be lazy about it." She moves to the other shoe. The elevator chimes. Eleanor Davis steps off. Vice President of Operations, 18 months in, the second black executive in the building. She has a coffee in one hand and a tablet in the other. She is mid-sentence into her own AirPods. Her sentence dies. She sees the older black woman on the carpet. She sees the white man standing over her. She sees the cart parked against the espresso bar like a park defense. The tablet drops 2 inches in her grip and stops. "Brett?" Brett looks up. His face slides into a different expression for the new audience. Wider. Performing. "Eleanor, morning. Small coffee situation. Ladies helping me out." Eleanor's jaw tightens. She takes one step forward. On the floor, Tara lifts her eyes for a half second, catches Eleanor's gaze, gives the smallest possible shake of her head. Not yet. Eleanor freezes. Her face goes through 3 emotions in 2 seconds. Confusion, then deference, then a kind of held-back fury that has nowhere to go. She is the second black executive in this building. She is also the one who joined 18 months ago and is still on probation in every room she walks into. If she fights this man right now, she fights him alone. She steps back. She lowers herself into one of the leather chairs by the window. She does not pick up her tablet again. Brett doesn't notice the headshake. He notices the audience. He leans down toward Tara, speaks louder than he needs to, wants the room to hear. "You know what my grandmother used to say? Real kind woman, salt of the earth. She'd say there are 2 types of people in this world." Tara keeps buffing. "One type finds peace in honest work. Floors, bathrooms, service. There's dignity in it. Nothing wrong with that life. My grandmother had a woman who cleaned for her every Thursday. Loved that woman. Loved her." A junior analyst by the espresso bar lowers her mug very slowly. Her name is Jenna Walsh, 26, 3 weeks past her first promotion. She has not blinked in 19 seconds. The other type, Brett says, gets confused, starts thinking they belong in rooms they don't belong in, starts wanting things that aren't theirs, starts complaining about ceilings and pay gaps and whatever the word of the week is. It's sad to watch, honestly, because it always ends the same way. He looks directly at the top of Tara's head. "Stay in your lane, ma'am. It's a kindness when somebody tells you straight." The room goes very still. Glass walls hum faintly with the air conditioning. The espresso machine hisses behind Jenna. Someone in the back of the lounge laughs the wrong kind of laugh, a single high note, and cuts off mid-breath. Tara finishes the toe of the shoe. She does not look up. Inside her chest, 43 years of work compress into a single quiet point. She thinks of her mother, who cleaned houses in Mississippi for 38 years, came home every night with her back hurting and her hands cracked. She thinks of her own first office, a converted broom closet on the South Side in 1982, with a phone she'd hardwired herself. She thinks about how much of her life she has spent pretending not to hear lines exactly like this, from men exactly like this, in rooms exactly like this one. She breathes in. She breathes out. "Yes, sir." That is all she says. She places the cloth back on the cart. She rises, one knee at a time. The rise takes longer than the kneel did. Her right knee pops. She straightens her back. She picks up the handle of the cart. "Hold on," Brett's voice again. "I didn't say you were done." She stops. "I've got a 9 o'clock with senior partners. These shoes need a real polish, not this gas station job you just did. Wait here. Don't move from this spot." "Sir, my route—" "Your route can wait. I'm telling you to wait. That's how this works." He pulls out his phone, starts scrolling. "And if you walk from that cart in the next 20 minutes, I will call whatever contractor sent you, have a conversation about quality control. Then I'll find out your name. Then I'll find out the names of the people who hired you. We clear?" "Yes, sir." Eleanor stands up from the leather chair. Brett, come on, this isn't—" He doesn't look up from his phone. "Eleanor, stay out of this. I'm doing the lady a favor. Some people appreciate honesty about how this floor works. She's a contractor in your building. You don't get to— And I'm a senior officer of this firm. You want to talk jurisdiction in front of her? Now? In front of an audience? Really?" Eleanor's hand closes around the back of the leather chair. Her knuckles go pale. She looks at Tara again. Tara's eyes are on the floor, the smallest possible shake of her head. Once more. Not yet. Eleanor sits back down, very slowly. The leather sighs under her weight. Brett turns toward the conference room hallway. He looks back over his shoulder one more time, the way a man checks on a parked car. "Wait, right there. Don't make me come find you." Then he is gone through the glass doors. The room exhales. Nobody speaks for 10 full seconds. Tara stands beside her cart in the middle of the executive lounge of the 51st floor. Her gray hair has come loose at one temple. Her hands rest on the handle of the mop. She does not move. Jenna Walsh, junior analyst, takes one step toward her. She opens her mouth. Then she closes it. She does not know what to say to an older black woman just told to stay in her lane, not in front of 20 people. So she says nothing. She looks down at her coffee. Her face is red. Her hand is shaking just enough that the coffee ripples. A senior partner walks through the lounge from the elevator, sees the cart, sees the older woman standing alone in the center of the floor, notes it as out of place, files it away to mention to building services, walks on. The brass plaque by the elevator catches the morning light again. We work for every floor. Tara reaches up and tucks the loose strand of gray hair behind her ear. Her fingers are steady. Her face is calm. Inside, she is filing. She is filing the name Brett Caldwell. She is filing the words. She is filing the laugh from the back of the lounge. She is filing the silence of the room. She is filing the look on Eleanor's face when she stepped off the elevator. She is filing every face that watched and said nothing. She is also filing one face that looked away in shame. Jenna Walsh. She files that one too, in a different folder. She slides her small leather notebook from the front pocket of the polo. She opens it. She writes one line in clean handwriting. B. Caldwell. S.V.P. Coffee. Knees. Lane. Then she closes the notebook and puts it back. The building cameras in the ceiling blink their small red lights once every 6 seconds. Every executive floor at Hampton Verity has them on by contract and by insurance regulation. They are recording every angle of the lounge. They will keep recording for the next 43 minutes. She has no idea yet that Brett is going to come back. She has no idea yet that he is going to do worse the second time. 40 minutes later, the coffee has dried into a faint shadow on the carpet. The executive lounge has filled, emptied, and filled again. Tara has not moved from beside her cart. She has answered 3 text messages in her head and 0 in real life. She has counted the people on the floor twice. She has noted the receptionist who refilled her water cup without being asked. She has noted the senior partner who walked past her 3 times and never made eye contact once. She has watched the light shift across Lake Michigan from gold to white. She is still there when the glass doors swing open and Brett walks back through them. Right, round 2. He drops into the leather armchair beside the espresso bar, pulls a small tin of leather conditioner from inside his jacket pocket, sets it on the side table next to him with a small clink. Real polish this time, out of my own desk. Couldn't trust whatever you had on that cart. He crosses his legs at the ankle, right loafer up, left planted on the carpet. Get to it. I have a meeting in 30 minutes, and I want to walk in with a glow on these. Tara walks over, kneels. The carpet remembers the shape of her knees from the first time. She opens the tin. The smell of beeswax and pine rises into the air between them. He scrolls his phone with his free hand. He does not look at her. Tell me when you're done. Don't talk. She works the conditioner into the leather. Her hands move with the kind of efficiency you only get from doing a thing thousands of times. Her face stays still. His eyes drift down to her chest, to the lanyard, to the badge. Hand me that. Sir? Your badge. Slide it over. I want to see who you contract through. Some of these night companies are sloppy. The badge is on a retractable line. She unclips it. She sets it on the side table next to the tin of conditioner. Her hand does not shake. The badge reads Hampton, T, Maintenance, Level 3. A real badge, printed with her real name, issued from her own building's security office 2 days ago. Brett picks it up, glances at the photo, glances at her face, sniffs once, tosses it back onto the table without reading the name. Fine. Now, what's in the cart? Open the bottom drawer. Sir, that's my personal... Open it. Or I call security and they open it. Your choice. She opens it. Inside, a thermos. A worn paperback copy of Letters to a Young Poet, the corners rounded from years of being read. A small leather notebook with gold embossed initials on the cover. T.J.H. A sealed envelope with the Hampton Verity logo at the corner. Brett's hand goes straight to the notebook. He picks it up, turns it over in his fingers. Monogrammed leather, that's nice. Where'd you steal this from? Across the lounge, Eleanor Davis inhales sharply enough that the woman beside her turns. Eleanor stands up from the leather chair for the second time this morning. She steps toward the executive elevators. Her phone is already in her hand. She is calling Linda Moore in Human Resources. She is doing this on the open building line. No secrets. Brett doesn't notice. He flips the notebook open. Inside, clean, careful handwriting. Dates, names, single lines. Mr. Alvarez held door for me at 6:42. Kind eyes. Miss Pearson, security desk, new night crew by name. B. Caldwell. Coffee, see attached. He reads none of it, sees ink, calls it a diary. I'm joking, relax, lighten up. Why is everyone in this building so sensitive these days? He snaps the notebook shut, drops it back into the drawer like he's discarding a candy wrapper. Then he picks up the paperback, reads the title, smirks. Letters to a Young Poet. Cute? Bedtime reading? He tosses that back, too. Whatever, look, I'm doing you a favor here. He gestures at her, at the badge on the table, at the open drawer of her cart. I'm not reporting the badge irregularity. I'm not reporting the attitude I'm getting from you this morning. I'm not calling security on you for carrying suspicious property. But I want my floor spotless by the end of this hour, or we're going to have a conversation with whoever wrote your paycheck. In the stairwell beyond the glass doors, Eleanor Davis is speaking quickly into her phone. Linda, conference room 51B, now. And bring James from security. Eleanor, what's now? And tell Patricia. She hangs up. She walks back into the lounge. She does not sit down. She stands by the elevator and watches. Brett is not done. Actually, you know what? He looks at his loafers. The conditioner has gone tacky in the late morning warmth of the lounge. Take them off. Tara's hand stops on the polishing cloth. Both of them. Take them to the men's room. There's a hand dryer in there. Run the leather under it for 20 minutes. Should reset the finish. Then bring them back to me. I'll be in 51A. And he reaches into his blazer pocket, pulls out a $5 bill, holds it up between two fingers. Get yourself a sandwich on me. From the cafeteria downstairs. I'm not a monster, am I? He lets the bill drop. It flutters once, twice, lands on the carpet near her left knee. That is the exact moment senior partner Margaret Wilson walks through the glass doors from the conference room hallway. She is 61, white, silver hair pulled back in a chignon, 33 years at Hampton Verity. She has known Tara Hampton personally since 1991. She was at Tara's daughter's wedding. She sees the $5 bill on the carpet. She sees the older woman in the polo. She sees Brett Caldwell with his right loafer already off, dangling by the heel from one finger. She stops dead. Her briefcase tips 1 degree forward in her hand and stops there. The color drains from her face in 3 seconds. Brett, what in God's name are you doing? Brett looks up, doesn't recognize the danger, grins. Margaret, hi. Relax. The lady is helping me out with a small stain situation. We've got an understanding, don't we? He looks down at Tara. Right? Tara does not answer him. She reaches forward. She picks up the $5 bill from the carpet. She holds it for 1 long second between her thumb and forefinger. Then she folds it once, folds it again. Very precisely, 2 clean creases. She rises from her knees for the second time this morning, slower than before. The cart handle steadies her on the way up. Her right knee pops a second time. Brett's blazer is draped over the back of his armchair. She walks to it. She slides the folded bill into the front pocket of the blazer where the pocket square would go. She turns to face him. She looks him directly in the eye. I won't be needing this, sir. It is the first time in 2 hours that she has met his gaze. For half a second, something in Brett's stomach drops. Some part of him, the part that has always been louder than the rest, goes quiet. He has the strangest feeling, just for a flicker, that he has miscounted something. He covers it with a laugh. Cute, real cute, Grandma. Now the shoes. Let's go. He bends forward in the armchair, starts unlacing his second loafer. He doesn't see what happens at the executive elevator behind him. The doors open without a chime. James Brooks steps out first, Director of Corporate Security, 64 years old, former FBI. He is wearing a dark suit and the kind of face he reserves for occasions he has been waiting for. Linda Moore steps out 1 beat behind him. Chief Human Resources Officer, mid-50s, reading glasses already in her hand, manila folder under her arm. Eleanor Davis falls in behind Linda without speaking. She was already at the elevator. Patricia Sullivan steps out last, chair of the board, late 60s, charcoal suit, pearls. The same pearls Tara wears in the lobby portrait downstairs. The 4 of them move across the lounge as a single unit. Their footsteps land on the carpet at the same rhythm. Brett is bent over his shoelace. Tara is standing beside her cart with her hands folded on the handle. The brass plaque by the elevator catches the morning light one more time. The whole room knows. Brett is the only one in the room who doesn't. The badge reader makes a soft electronic warble when James Brooks pulls it from his inside jacket pocket. He does not look at Brett. He stops in front of Tara. The four of them form a small semicircle around her. Patricia, Linda, Eleanor, James. "Ma'am, are you ready to conclude the walk?" Brett's head snaps up from his shoelace. The loafer drops from his hand. "I'm sorry, the walk? What walk? Who are you people?" Nobody answers him. James lifts the reader, holds it level with Tara's chest. Her badge is still on the side table where Brett tossed it. She picks it up, clips it back to the lanyard. She lifts the lanyard toward the reader, a single soft beep. Then, somewhere behind her, the mechanical funk of the executive elevator recalibrating. The display panel above the elevator's call button changes. The number flickers and resolves. CEO Floor 64. Access granted. A separate display behind the reception desk lights up in pale gold script. "Welcome, Ms. Hampton. Welcome home." Eleanor Davis exhales like a woman who has been holding her breath for 10 years. The receptionist who refilled Tara's water cup that morning stands up so fast her chair tips back and hits the wall behind her. She does not pick it up. Brett reads the screen. He reads it again. His face does something very specific. It forgets, for 1 second, how to be a face. The mouth, the eyes, the jaw, they all go still at slightly different times. Patricia Sullivan steps forward. Her pearls catch the morning light. Her voice is even. "Brett, I'd like to introduce you to the founder, majority shareholder, and chief executive officer of Hampton Verity Global Holdings." She pauses. "Tara Josephine Hampton." She pauses again. "I believe you've been speaking with her for the last 2 hours and 11 minutes. Brett's voice comes out very small, almost a whisper. "No?" Patricia does not smile. "Yes." Tara reaches up to her shoulder. She unclips the maintenance name tag from the navy polo. She turns it around in her hand. The back of the tag is engraved. Tara J. Hampton, founder, 1982. She sets it down on the side table, right next to the tin of leather conditioner Brett brought from his own desk. She speaks for the first time without saying "sir." "Mr. Caldwell, you may put your shoe back on. You're going to need both of them where you're going." Brett does not move. His right loafer is still in his hand. The lace is half tied. Behind Tara, every screen on the 51st floor changes at the same instant. The trading dashboards, the strategy walls, the welcome boards by every elevator bank. All of them. They go gold. Then they fill with a single image, a portrait. A woman in pearls and a tailored charcoal suit, her hair done, her hands folded in her lap. The smallest possible smile. Same face, same eyes, same person. The portrait was cued by the security system the moment Tara rescanned her badge from this floor. Brett has walked past it in the lobby every working day for 6 years and never once looked at it. He looks at it now. Then he looks at her. Then he looks at it. Then he sits down. Not because he wants to. His legs do it for him. "Stand up, Mr. Caldwell." Tara's voice is quiet. It is also the only sound in the room. He stands. "Take your shoes with you." She glances down at the loafers, the Italian ones, the ones his wife gave him for his promotion. "They cost more than some of my night crew bring home in a month. They deserve better than the floor." He bends. He picks them up, one in each hand. He looks like a man holding 2 dead birds. Across the room, senior partner Margaret Wilson lowers herself slowly into the nearest leather chair. Her hand goes over her mouth and stays there. Eleanor Davis is crying, silently, not moving. The tears just go. The receptionist by the front desk is also crying. So is the older woman from building services who has been refilling the espresso bar since 1999. So is one of the two associates by the elevator who looked away the first time 2 hours ago. Tara turns to Patricia Sullivan.
Patricia, convene the Ethics Committee, Conference Room 64, Main, 45 minutes from now.
Done. Bring Daniel from legal. Bring Linda. Bring the footage from this floor for the last 24 months. Done. She turns to James Brooks. James, Mr. Caldwell will not be leaving this building through any door he can choose. Escort him to a holding office on this floor. No computer, no phone, no floor. All credentials suspended as of...
She glances at her watch.
A steel Timex with a worn leather band she has owned since 1986. 9:23 this morning. Yes, ma'am. She turns, finally, to Brett. He is still standing there with his shoes in his hands. She looks at him for one long second. I'll see you in 45 minutes. Then she turns. She walks past him toward the executive elevator. The doors are already open. They opened the second she turned.
The morning light catches her gray hair as she steps inside.
For one frame, just one, it looks like silver. The doors close behind her. The room does not move for 10 more seconds. Brett stands in the middle of the 51st floor with his loafers in his hands and 1,000 pairs of eyes on him. Nobody is laughing now. James does not touch Brett. He doesn't need to. He simply turns toward the conference room hallway, and Brett follows him, one hand still gripping the loafers, the other hand opening and closing around nothing. They walk through the executive lounge. The two associates by the elevator, the receptionist, the older woman from building services, Jenna Walsh, Margaret Wilson, Eleanor Davis. Nobody speaks. Brett's reflection passes across the glass walls in pieces. His hands are shaking.
I didn't...
James does not respond.
She didn't say... She could have said... Nothing. It was a joke. It was a joke. Margaret, tell them.
Margaret does not look up from her phone. James opens the door of a small interior conference room. No window, one table, one chair. He gestures Brett inside. He holds out his hand. Badge, phone. Brett hands them over. The door closes behind him. James does not lock it. He does not have to. There is nowhere in this building for Brett Caldwell to go. 45 minutes later, the door opens again. Conference room 64 Main is on the CEO floor. Tara is at the head of the table, Patricia Sullivan to her right, Linda Moore to her left, Daniel Carter, general counsel, beside Linda, James Brooks standing at the back, Eleanor Davis sitting on the side as senior witness, two outside counsel on the video wall. Brett sits down at the other end of the table. His suit jacket is wrinkled. The loafers are in a paper bag at his feet. Ms. Hampton, Tara. Ms. Hampton, I owe you the deepest apology a human being can offer. I didn't know. If I had known... Tara holds up one hand. She is wearing the navy polo still. Her badge is back on her chest. She has not changed. Mr. Caldwell. Her voice is very gentle. You're telling me that you would have treated me with dignity if you had known I was rich. The room is silent. That isn't what I... It is exactly what you said. Brett tries again. He tries long hours. He tries his father's recent diagnosis. He tries the pressure of the promotion track, a misread joke, a bad coffee morning, a misunderstanding, a culture fit issue, a personality clash. Each excuse lands smaller than the one before it. Linda Moore opens the manila folder in front of her. Mr. Caldwell, we have 19 documented complaints against you over the past 3 years. 6 informal, 13 formal. 6 from women, 11 from employees of color, 3 from contracted staff. She looks up. We are not here because of one bad morning. We are here because, this morning, we finally have what we needed to act on the other 19. Daniel Carter slides a single sheet of paper across the table. Immediate suspension without pay, pending internal investigation. Conversion to termination for cause upon confirmed findings. Loss of all unvested stock options. Forfeiture of severance under the executive ethics clause you signed when you were promoted to SVP. Brett reads the paper. His face does the math in real time. The Lincoln Park brownstone, the kids' private school, the boat at Belmont Harbor, his wife's reaction, his father's reaction. He starts to speak. Daniel does not let him. Sign at the bottom or don't. Either way, this is in effect as of 9:23 this morning. Brett signs. James escorts him through the lobby at street level at 11:48. Two uniformed Chicago PD officers wait by the revolving doors. They are not here to arrest him. They are here to formally accept preserved evidence and witness statements from Hampton Verity Security under chain of custody protocol. Brett walks past them with his head down. Outside on the sidewalk, Karen Whitfield from WGN Chicago is already there with a camera crew. The 78-word press statement went out at 1:14 this afternoon. Karen has sources inside every Fortune 500 building on Wacker, and she has been waiting since 11:30. Brett's face on local television at 12:04 shows a man holding a paper bag, a man not recognizing his own reflection in the glass behind him. The first sentence of the Hampton Verity statement reads, "We have today suspended a senior executive for documented, repeated conduct in violation of this company's values." The last sentence is the one everyone quotes for the next 6 days. "The way we treat the person carrying the trash out at midnight is the way we actually run this company. Today we ran short of our own standard. Tomorrow we will not." It is signed by Tara Josephine Hampton. She wrote it herself. For the next 11 days, Linda Moore's team works alongside a civil rights firm Tara retained the same afternoon. Together they interview 86 current and former employees of Hampton Verity. The pattern is undeniable. For the full 6 years of his tenure, Brett Caldwell had been running a deliberate climate of contempt. Against junior staff of color, against women in support roles, against contracted workers, against anyone he thought lacked the leverage to fight back. 3 former employees logged as voluntary departures turn out to have been pushed out by him. One of them is Diane Russell. Diane is a black junior associate who left Hampton Verity 8 months ago. On her final performance review, Brett had told her she interviewed better than she performed. She had been the only black woman in her cohort of 19. She had been a top performer on every objective metric. She had taken the line with her, the way the line tends to stay. Within 3 weeks, 2 civil suits are filed. The first is brought by Diane Russell. The second is brought by a coalition of 5 former contracted cleaning staff. Their suit documents a pattern of harassment that dates back to 2019. Hampton Verity does not defend Brett in either suit. The company joins the second suit as a co-plaintiff on behalf of its own affected workers. The EEOC opens a formal inquiry the following Monday. The U.S. Attorney's Office in the Northern District of Illinois opens a parallel federal review. Not for the shoe-shining incident itself, for the documented pattern of retaliation against complainants that surfaces in discovery. Karen Whitfield's WGN segment leads the national news cycle for 6 consecutive days. Major network coverage follows. Op-eds run in 3 national papers. The Senate Subcommittee on Workplace Conditions invites Tara to testify in Washington. She accepts. 8 months later, Diane Russell's civil case settles. The settlement is large enough to cover the rest of Diane's law school, plus a multiple, plus a sum she will later donate in full to a Chicago nonprofit that funds public defenders working in housing court. Tara herself insisted on the number. The number is on the public record. The 5 contracted staff plaintiffs settle similarly. Each receives back wages, damages, and a written apology signed by the company. Brett Caldwell, in a separate federal civil rights judgment, is found personally liable. He is ordered to pay damages. He is ordered to complete 480 hours of community service at organizations that serve low-wage workers. He is permanently barred, by consent decree, from holding an executive officer position at any publicly traded company. The ban runs for the next 12 years. His old undergraduate fraternity quietly removes his composite from the alumni house wall. His country club issues a one-line statement of revocation. 2 boards he had sat on as a young leader in finance remove him within 48 hours of the WGN segment. His wife files for legal separation 4 months into the investigation. She does not give interviews. The brownstone in Lincoln Park goes on the market in the spring. It sells in 9 days, well below ask. Inside Hampton Verity, Tara uses the moment. She launches the floor-to-floor initiative. Every executive from vice president and above will now spend 1 full week per year working alongside the building services team, janitorial, security, cafeteria, mailroom, by name, in their uniforms, on their shifts. No cameras, no press. The only person allowed to opt out is Tara herself, on the grounds that she has been doing it for 43 years. Junior staff are given a confidential reporting channel that goes directly to the board's ethics committee, not to HR, not through a supervisor. Diane Russell is offered the directorship of a new Dignity at Work office. The role comes with a budget, a team of 4, and a permanent seat at the ethics committee. She takes a week to think about it. She takes it. 6 months after the incident, Tara is invited to give the commencement address at her old night school MBA program at DePaul University, the same program she finished while running the company in 1989. She walks on stage in pearls and the same tailored charcoal suit from the welcome screen. She steps to the podium. She does not open with a joke. She does not thank the dean. She reaches into a small bag at her feet and lifts out a folded navy polo. The same polo. The collar is creased where her badge used to clip. She holds it up. I wore this for 43 years before anyone noticed. The auditorium is very quiet. Some of you in this room will wear something like it before anyone notices you. I want you to remember one thing. She lowers the polo, folds it, places it on the podium beside the microphone. The person on the other side of your contempt may be your customer, your boss, your judge, your friend, or simply a human being who deserved better than what you gave them. You will not always know which. She looks up at the rows of graduating students, at the parents in the back, at Eleanor Davis in the front row, in a black dress and tears she is not bothering to wipe. So treat every one of them as if you might be standing in front of the woman who signs your paycheck. She pauses. Because one day, you will be. The auditorium is still for 2 beats, then it stands. The standing ovation lasts 96 seconds. Cameras flash from every angle. Eleanor Davis is applauding the hardest. Diane Russell, 2 rows behind her, is on her feet too. The clip of Tara holding up the navy polo runs on the morning news the next day. By the end of the week, it has been used in more than 100 sermons, college lectures, corporate orientations, and 1 Senate floor speech. Brett Caldwell, on the day of the speech, is on hour 311 of his 480 hours of community service. He is sweeping the floor of a workforce reentry program on the west side of Chicago. The program is run by a black woman in her 60s. She does not know, and would not particularly care, what he used to do for a living. To her, he is hour 311 of 480. He does not watch the news. He has a long way to go. 1 year later, same executive lounge, 7:14 in the morning. The carpet has been replaced. The espresso machine is the same. The eucalyptus is still on every table. Lake Michigan is still pale gold through the windows. The brass plaque by the elevator has a second line engraved beneath the original. We work for every floor, especially the ones we forget to look at. The doors of the executive elevator open at 7:14 exactly. Tara walks in, not in a maintenance polo. Charcoal suit, pearls, hair done, steel Timex on her left wrist with the worn leather band. The receptionist who refilled her water cup a year ago is now the floor's chief of staff. They walk to the espresso bar together. They are mid-conversation about a quarterly report. Both of them are laughing about something the chief of staff's son said at breakfast. A junior analyst, 3 weeks in, steps aside to let Tara pass. She is 23, white, and on the second day of her real job. "Morning, Miss Hampton." Tara stops, turns. "Morning. What's your name?" "Hannah, ma'am. Hannah Brooks." "Brooks? Any relation to James in security?" "He's my grandfather." Tara smiles. The smile reaches her eyes this time. "Tell him his granddaughter has good manners. Tell him I said it's not an accident." Hannah nods. She does not know yet that she will tell that story for the rest of her career. Tara turns back to her chief of staff, and they keep walking. The brass plaque catches the morning light behind them. Same gold as the welcome screen used to be. 8 blocks west, at a workforce re-entry program on the west side of Chicago, Brett Caldwell is sweeping the floor of a community center. The building smells like cleaning solution and old wood. The handle of the broom is wooden and worn smooth by other hands. He shows up on time now. He does not talk much. He has lost the wedding ring, the watch, the boat, and most of the people who used to laugh at his jokes. The director of the program is a black woman in her 60s who runs the place like a battleship. She does not know, and would not particularly care, that he once made a billionaire scrub his shoes. To her, he is hour 461 of 480. He has a long way to go. Here is the thing. Dignity isn't something you grant to people once you find out their net worth. Dignity isn't something you offer because they have a badge that opens a floor you can't get to. Dignity isn't a reward for credentials or fame or rank or the right last name. Dignity is something you offer because the person standing in front of you is a person. That's the whole rule. There isn't a longer version. The next time you see somebody being treated like furniture in a room full of suits, speak. Be the Jenna Walsh who walks straight to HR. Be the Eleanor Davis who picks up the phone. Be the receptionist who says good morning like she means it. Be the Margaret Wilson who stops dead in the doorway and asks the question out loud. You don't need a badge to open a floor. You just need to be the kind of person who acts right when nobody important is looking. Because the truth is, somebody important is always looking. Sometimes it's a camera. Sometimes it's a witness. Sometimes it's a 64-year-old woman with a mop and a notebook and 43 years of memory in her pocket. And sometimes it's just you, alone with yourself at the end of the day, deciding what kind of person you are going to be tomorrow. So here is my question for you, and I want a real answer in the comments, not a polite one, a real one. When was the last time you watched somebody get treated badly, and you said nothing? What did it cost you to stay quiet? And what would it have cost you to step in? Tell me down below. If this story hits you somewhere honest, hit the like, share it with somebody who needs to hear it today. Subscribe to the channel, because the next story I am telling you is one you are going to want to be early on. I'll see you there. Yo, act right even when nobody important is watching. Because the truth is, somebody always is. Maybe a camera, maybe a witness, maybe just you in the mirror tonight. Character ain't a performance. It's who you are in the quiet moments.